What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How we doing? How we feeling? Sorry I'm late. Had a little couple things to take care of. How are we feeling? It's just technical difficulty. It's bad. It's a bad start. Let's restart, shall we? Let's restart. Rewind. How are we doing? How's everybody doing? Woo! I was watching the Lions Chiefs game. Shout out to the Chiefs for losing that game, huh? Lions. Shout out to the Lions. That's who really shout out. Dan Campbell has really turned the Lions around. Jared Goff, resurgence. Career has turned around with the Lions. Beat the Super Bowl champs. Now, I know they didn't have Chris Jones and Travis Kelce. They probably would have won that game if they had Kelce, because those receivers were just so bad. So bad today. We're not here to talk about the Chiefs, but Tony, yikes. Yikes. Man was dropping it. He had cocoa butter on his hands. It was not good. But we're here to talk about the San Francisco 49ers. It is what it is. It's the first football season of the year tonight. Chiefs, Lions. I'm happy that the Lions won. Lions are underrated. They're going to be a good team this year. I thought the Chiefs would still win this game. But, hey, shout out to the Lions. Good win for them. 49ers go on the road this weekend into a tough stadium. They play the Steelers. Bosa's back. We all know it's looking great. It's fun to know that Bosa's back. He was in practice today. He didn't practice with the team like in drills, but he was on the side field. It's nice to see him. He looks strong. He looks stout, better than ever. I mean, he looks like he never missed a minute. He looks healthier than everybody out there, really, and he didn't go to training camp. So Nick Bosa looks great. But the most important thing is now we can focus about this actual game, Sunday, Steelers. Kenny Pickett, Brock Purdy. You know, all week, we haven't really been able to talk about the matchups. Now we do. Now we can. Now we're past the Bosa. Bosa's done. That news is old and done with. We're done. We've spammed enough of that. Now we got to talk about Brock Purdy and Patrick Peterson. Did you guys hear? Did you guys hear this? We got to talk about it. Yeah, Hutchinson looks like a baby Bosa out there. But let me tell you, did you hear what they said? Did I hear what they said about Fred Warner? I haven't heard what they said about Fred Warner. Tell me, because we right now are going to talk about Patrick Peterson talking reckless. Oh, did I hear about in the game? They compared one of the players to Fred Warner. Yeah, something like that. I saw that. I thought you meant like Steelers. No, I'm talking about Patrick Peterson running his mouth today. Running his mouth today. He was on Brian McFadden's podcast today. On let's see, what's the podcast called? It's called All Things Covered podcast. Patrick Peterson, he says the 49ers offense has tells. Hey, we talked about this. It was a big story in the offseason, right? Trent Williams, does he have tells? Remember last year, the whole Trent Williams, he tips off plays. He tips plays. Who cares? Even if he does, you still can't stop the 49ers. Nobody can stop the 49ers if you have tells. Like, that was a whole, like, that was a whole, like, month of talk about tells in the film and Trent Williams tipping plays. It doesn't matter because the 49ers, even if they were tipping plays, guess what? People still couldn't stop them. So Patrick Peterson says because the 49ers, they have tells in their plays. And Brock Purdy only goes to CMC when he's in trouble. When the windows get tight and things get stressful, he only goes to CMC. And he says, we know when they're going to do these things. We know what Brock Purdy's going to do. It's like he acts like he's the master of Kyle Shanahan's offense. Patrick Peterson knows Kyle Shanahan's offense. He knows it. That's according to Patrick Peterson. He's the master of Kyle Shanahan's offense. Okay? You know what? Patrick Peterson has played Kyle Shanahan 9 times in his career. This man's like 80 years old, I think. No shout out. Shout out to Patrick Peterson. This man's talking reckless, and he's been in the league for a long time. He's played Kyle Shanahan 9 games. You want to know how many interceptions? You want to know how many interceptions Patrick Peterson has had against the 49ers in 9? Not against the 49ers, but against Kyle Shanahan. Against Kyle Shanahan-led offense, he's got 0, ladies and gentlemen. Patrick Peterson has never had an interception against Kyle Shanahan and his offenses that he's played against him. But according to Patrick Peterson, there's tells, and he's gonna get an interception. He says there's so many signs that tell us what plays we're gonna get in from certain situations. And then he says, when I get my pick, I'm gonna talk about it. He says, when I get my interception, I'm gonna talk about it. He says he's gonna celebrate. He says they're gonna celebrate. They're gonna celebrate the interception. And he's got a cool celebration. This man's already talking about he's gonna intercept Brock Purdy. and he's going to celebrate. You're giving this team bulletin board material. Bulletin board material. That's crazy. I cannot believe he's sitting here and he's saying this stuff. Like, I get it. And he's a veteran. You know for a fact you don't want to give the 49ers bulletin board material. You do not want to give Deebo Samuel bulletin board material. You do not want to give Brandon Ayuk bulletin board material. You know what I mean? It's so, that is just bad. To give Brandon Ayuk bulletin board material against Patrick Peterson, he's going to cook this man. Patrick Peterson, no disrespect, he's had a great career, throughout the NFL, but he's a little older. He's an older statesman. He's not as fast as he was. I don't think he's as physical, as strong as he was. He's getting a little older. He's been a good cornerback through his career, but he is talking reckless, and I think that's going to come back and bite him. That's all I'm going to say. You give this 49er offense bulletin board material, it's going to bite you on Sunday. It's going to be tough, man. And so Brock Purdy, they asked Brock Purdy about it, and he basically said, we'll see, with a little smile on his face. Brock Purdy said, we'll see. And he talked about, he was so respectful. Like, Brock Purdy, he slighted him, but in the most professional way, the most classic way. Like, he was classy. Like, he didn't throw any shade. He didn't say anything bad. He didn't say, like, he's a bum. He said, look, I enjoyed Patrick Peterson's career. I grew up in Arizona, so I knew when he was on the Cardinals. I watched him growing up. I loved it. Brock Purdy, I watched him growing up. Low key, he's basically said, yeah, I watched this guy's career. He's old. Now I'm, in the league. He's still playing. I watched this guy growing up. Oh, this guy's still playing? We'll see. I love how Brock handled it. Very professional. And at the end, the we'll see, with the little smile, he was like, we'll see. I like Brock. He handled himself very well. Patrick Peterson, hook. He tried to throw him the lure. He tried to throw him the fishing lure. He tried to reel him in. And he tried to make Brock have a big quote, a big, mess up moment. He tried to make Brock reckless. And Brock stood tall, and he says, we'll see. I watched this guy growing up. I love it. I love how he said it like that. So it's going to be fun, man. Brock Purdy. A lot of people doubting Brock Purdy. A lot of people like Kenny Pickett, and they think he's going to be a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. Like, everybody's given Brock Purdy a lot of disrespect since this offseason, since, the surgery. He's got to go out there and prove himself again this year. An absolute season of magic last year that he had. It was an unbelievable season he had, right? Number 7th pick, or number 7th round pick, the last pick in the draft. 7th round, last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. 3rd string quarterback. He comes in, wins the quarterback job after injuries. And then he comes into this offseason, and he was named QB1 after a crazy surgery this offseason after the injury in the NFC Championship game. Named a captain. Yet people still don't believe in Brock Purdy, and now he's going to prove everybody. I love it. I love Brock Purdy. I can't wait to see what he does on Sunday. I'm excited to see this offense. They're going to be fired up. I'm sure the defense of the Steelers is going to be fired up. They got some good players. They got some really good linebackers. They got some good edge rushers. They got some good safeties. They got Fitzpatrick. They got TJ Watt. They got some good players. They got a good team. Not going to lie to you. They got a good coach. They got some good offensive players. The 49ers, they're a Super Bowl contender, and Nick Bosa's back. Nick Bosa's back. And that's huge. Nick Bosa puts his team over the top. Puts them back over the top in contention. And the 49ers have all their players, their weapons. George Kittle's back. He says he's excited to play football Sunday. Everybody's ready to roll, man. Everybody is excited on this team. You got CMC. You got Deebo Samuel. You got Brandon Ayuk. And, I watched that podcast. The whole thing, All Things Covered podcast. And I was listening to Patrick Peterson. He was not trying to give the Niners, he was like low-key dissing. It was kind of like a sneak diss on Brock Purdy. And because the guy asked him, McFadden says, well, what do you think about Brock Purdy? He had a great season last year. He had a great year. And then he basically says, he said, what did he do well? He says, well, he puts the ball in good spots. But then he basically went on a rant, and he says, he has CMC. It's easy to do that. And then he says, he has Kyle Shanahan scheming him up for it. So he basically is saying Brock Purdy's a product of the scheme. If they cover, they communicate, and they take away those the CMC passes, then he's going to get cooked up. He's going to get eaten alive, and there's going to be too much pressure. That's basically what they're saying. And I was like, you know what, man? You guys discredit the 49ers. They scheme up, but you can't stop the scheme. Kyle Shanahan knows how to out-scheme anybody. And even if it's just a scheme, you can't stop it. You know, you got CMC. This guy's an amazing guy. And it's funny because everybody says, oh, you just got to take out CMC. Everybody tries that. Everybody tries to take out CMC. It's not that easy. And you got Deebo Samuel, who came into camp this year with a different mindset. Captain Deebo, right? Captain Deebo. And then you got Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle. This offense is about to go crazy. Let's shift gears a little bit. Jimmy says, why didn't Bosa talk with the media? I think he hasn't put the pen to the paper. He didn't have a press conference today. I still think they're waiting for him to do the official signing because I haven't seen a picture. I haven't seen anything. They haven't showed anything. They haven't posted anything. The 49ers haven't announced the official signing. So technically, Bosa still hasn't signed his contract, I think, is kind of what I'm getting at. He'll probably sign tomorrow. They may get a deal. Like, they got to probably bring him in the morning, sign, go to practice, and then fly out. That's probably what they're going to do. And then we'll get all the cool pictures and the content and all that stuff. That's my guess. You know, he just came back to Santa Clara last night. He came in. They probably had to do physicals. They probably had to do all his, all the behind-the-scenes stuff. You got to do physicals. You got to do this stuff. He came out, side field. They had to kind of do all these little tests and stuff like that, tests and measures. And now he'll probably be able to sign tomorrow. You know, they'll probably sign tomorrow, and then he'll probably have a press conference. If he doesn't have a press conference tomorrow, he's definitely talking on Sunday after the game, for sure. Yeah, Red Eye says, Mike Tomlin says Brock fits well because of the scheme, not because of the ability. Yeah, that's another guy. Mike Tomlin says it's more so, I saw that. He says it's more so preparing for Kyle than it is for Brock Purdy. I was like, oh, I was like, wow, that's disrespectful. How was disrespectful for me when I heard that? When he says we're more so preparing for Kyle Shanahan than we're preparing for Brock Purdy. They don't think Brock Purdy's like the Steelers are walking into this game thinking that they don't have to really prepare for Brock Purdy. It's a lot of disrespect going on for Brock Purdy. That's the vibe I get. It's kind of crazy because so if Brock Purdy dices him up, man, that's crazy. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be receipts all over the place. And why do we got a Rams fan in here? I'm looking at this chat real quick. I'm peeking at the chat over here. We're trying to talk about the 49ers. We got a Rams guy in here running his mouth. He's a grown man. Talking about some nasty stuff in here. I don't know, man. I mean, should I block this guy? Should I get him out of the live? Like, this is silly, man. I get it. You want to troll. You like to go and troll people's chats. But I'm not here about trolling. Look, man, I got a big social media following. I got a life to live. I'm a busy guy. When I come on here, I don't need to see trolls. So if you're going to act like a dumbass, I'm just going to give you the boot, man. Bottom line. So if you're going to act the fool, we're going to kick you out. I ain't got time for that stuff. Let's just get him out of here. We're done with this. Like, you probably think you're funny, but you're not, dude. You're kind of dumb. Peace out, man. I ain't got time for this shit. You know what? Honestly, I do a lot of stuff. I'm a busy guy. I ain't got time for that nonsense. If you're going to come in the chat and be stupid, just leave. Honestly, just leave, please. I ain't got time for that. Let's talk about the 49ers and Steelers, shall we? I want to talk about the 49ers and Steelers. I don't want to care about anybody else right now. So peace out, man. If you unfollow the page, I don't care. I'm not even monetized on YouTube. So see ya. Out of here, my bye. Let's get some questions going, shall we? That felt good. Get him out of here. Had to get him out of here. Like, how do you sit here and go to another team's page and sit here and conversate and talk? And it's just, they're giving me free engagement. It is what it is. Now, I'm not here for the BS, King Geo. I really am not. Not this year. We ain't. Jordan says, can we talk about the Steelers' defense? Yeah. And where do you think we should attack? Their weakness. That's a good question because the Steelers have a very solid defense. They got good linemen. They got a great set of safeties. They got good cornerbacks. But if anything, it is Patrick Peterson, the outside, because I think he's lost a couple steps. You got to attack the outside, and the 49ers are going to run the ball. If the 49ers can get out to the perimeter and hit the edges of the field, if they can get CMC out to the edge, there's no stopping that guy. And also, linebackers, the 49ers have the best linebacking crew in the NFL. We all know that. If you can get Debo over the middle in space, if you can get Kittle over the middle in space, there's no way the 49ers are going to be stopped by the Steelers. The Steelers have a great D-line, and their job is to get pressure. If they get pressure and they stack the box, then you got Minkah Fitzpatrick, who could do everything, right? Safety of he's one of the best safeties in the league. He's a very versatile guy. But if you can get this 49ers to create space and prevent that pressure, it's going to be an easy game. But that's not going to be easy to do because the Steelers do have a good defensive line. And I think the 49ers offensive line is going to be one of the keys to this game. They have to be able to stand tall. I think TJ Watt is going to be the X factor for the Steelers. If TJ Watt has a big day against Colton Malkovich, 49ers might be in trouble, right? It's going to be a tough one. That's a big test for Colton. We've talked about that all off season, that he is the X factor on this offensive line. And if we cannot stop TJ Watt, it's going to be hard to stop this Pittsburgh defense. It's going to be very, very hard to stop this Pittsburgh defense. So Colton McKivitz is an X factor for the 49ers on the offensive line. And that's what we got to do. We got to basically run away from TJ Watt's side. You got to kind of go around the other side. But TJ, he's probably going to change it up himself. He's not going to always go on Colton, but I don't think he's going to try to come towards Trent Williams' side. But hey, the Steelers are already sitting here saying that they know the 49ers are going to tip plays, this and that. So we're going to really see. We shall see. Just like Brock Purdy says, we'll see. We're going to see just how much these guys have learned by studying the film, because they're sitting here saying that they know every play the 49ers are going to run. We'll see. We'll see. God says our corners will be tested heavily by the receivers. If God said it, it is going to happen. The receivers are going to be testing the cornerbacks. And I agree. Mooney Ward today, he missed practice with the heel injury, but he did get some optimism from Steve Wilks and Kyle Shanahan. And both of them said that they expect Mooney Ward to play. But if he's bothered by a heel, I can't expect him to be full speed. And the Steelers have a very good offensive set of weapons. Fairmouth, tight end. They got some great receivers. And it's going to be a tough matchup. So, yeah, Mooney Ward, the CB1 for the 49ers, might be a little limited on Sunday. So we'll see. He had a heel injury. That could slow you down. It's going to be Diamond Lenore is going to have to really step up. Ambry Thomas, Sam Womack. These guys are going to really have to bring their A game. So Randy says, if Kittle isn't out there, Watt will be a huge problem. Absolutely, because Kittle is going to be the guy that kind of helps on that O-line. We all know how Kittle adds to the offensive line. He blocks, but he's a weapon too. He's such a good tight end. He's so good for this team. It's like you see how Kelsey was to the Chiefs. Like, I feel like that's the impact Kittle has to the 49ers, but it's not always in the receiving game. His blocking is very vital, right? He has been very important for the 49ers over the last few years since he's been on the team, and not just in the receiving game, but as a blocker. And you're right. If Kittle's not there, it's going to be harder to kind of stop and chip out TJ Watt. But you also have to remember, we got Kyle Juszczyk. Not everybody has a Kyle Juszczyk on their team. And the 49ers have the best fullback who can block. He plays like a tight end. He plays like a receiver. This guy's a weapon. So Juszczyk and Kittle are going to be vital in, chipping out TJ Watt. It's going to be tough, but, they're going to help. But from what we understand, George Kittle looks like he's going to be playing. He says he's feeling great. Those are the reports. Kittle's been back in practice, and they're taking it easy on him, but he's been back in practice, and, they're not trying to overwork him, but he's coming back. He got that groin injury. But, yeah, Kittle's been back in practice these last 2 days, and they're taking it easy with him, but he is ready to roll. He says he feels wonderful, and he can't wait to play on Sunday. So it's going to be good. I was a little worried if Kittle wasn't going to play, but we have Kittle back. You got Nick Bosa's back, so it's good to hear that those two guys are back. It's going to be interesting to see how much Nick Bosa plays. You got a lot of people saying a lot of different things. You got some people think he's going to be on a pitch count. I honestly don't even think Nick Bosa is going to missed too much. I'm sure he'll have a few plays off here and there, and we're going to be wondering, oh, where's Bosa? But I think, once he gets his stamina back and his game shape up in a week or two, I mean, he's going to be back to Nick Bosa. But I still think he's going to dominate in this game, and I still think that Nick Bosa is going to have a monster game. So, yeah, we'll see. Losova, Patrick Peterson saying that he's going to get an interception. It's because Trent Williams still sticks his left foot out on pass plays. We're going to see, like I said, Patrick Peterson, the 49ers, says the 49ers have a tell. We talked about this months, like weeks last year. Remember when like the whole controversy from Jesse, shout out to Jesse Naylor, he like brought up the whole just Trent Williams tip plays, and there was like a whole controversy all over Twitter and the media. You had Richard Sherman talking about it, Emmanuel Acco, like everybody was talking about this tipping plays, and now Patrick Peterson swears by his life that he's going to be able to figure out what the 49ers are going to do because he watched all this film from last year. Well, let me tell you, this is what I got to say. That was last year in 2023. Do you think Kyle Shanahan's not going to change some things in his playbook? And yeah, he might like fake tip you. Now, like it's so great that it came out to the media like that because Kyle, I'm sure he finds out over the offseason, people are like, hey, Kyle, did you see this last year? They said we were tipping plays. Oh, okay. Let's rechange the fit. Like, this guy, Patrick Peterson, doesn't realize this is how stupid he is. Okay, the Kyle Shanahan, the coach of that offense, that you're sitting there watching film, you think he doesn't know this? You think that he doesn't understand this? You think that he's not changing his format and his tells maybe? Like, maybe he's going to have a new tell. You don't know it yet. I love it. Patrick Peterson thinks he's smarter than Kyle Shanahan. I love it, man. I love it. Absolutely. HR says Bosa has all our money now. He deserves it. Man pulled up in a jet last night. Did you see that? Man pulls up in a private jet. I wonder if he bought that jet with that money he made last night. What if he was like on Amazon? I don't know. Where do you buy jets? Jets.com? I don't know. Where do you buy jets? He pulled up to a jet website to buy a jet. And he's like, oh, I like that private jet. How much? Oh, okay. Did we get the money in the bank yet? Oh, okay, I'm making this purchase. Okay, cool. And he pulls up to Santa Clara yesterday in a jet. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Randy says, Nick looked healthier than anyone I've ever seen. Dude, it's crazy. He didn't even go to training camp. And he was like the healthiest guy on this team. You see the videos. He looked like he was in better shape than everybody. He sat in the beach. He was working out with his brother all off season. They went on a boat and they just chiseled their bodies. And he came back with a nice tan and abs. It's crazy. Nick Bosa's legit. He's got his whole, routine. He's disciplined. I love Nick Bosa, man. The guy's just so disciplined. The guy has like 1% body fat if he's lucky. Eric says Trent sent him his jet. I can see that. Maybe Trent said, yo, Bosa, you want to pull up in the jet? That's crazy, dude. Trent Williams with the private jet. That's how you get the jet, yeah. Is Moody back? Diego, from all signs we know, Moody is back. He should be playing. Blood Moon says Rams should trade Cup away 100%. Ooh, yeah. Cup's, man, tough. It's tough sledding for him right now. I feel bad for Cooper Kupp. Good player. Hamstring's really derailing him. Jed said, sent the jet. You think Jed sent the jet? I just like the joke, Red Eye. Score predictions? I'll give you score predictions tomorrow. I'm gonna give you score predictions tomorrow. We gotta have something to talk about tomorrow. We'll do score predictions tomorrow. So it was Prediction Friday. That's what we gotta wait for. But I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be like a 3-point game. I'm hearing it's gonna be tough weather. I don't know if it's gonna rain, but it's gonna be ugly weather, is what I've been reading. So we'll see. Hope it's not too bad. Anybody out in Pittsburgh right now know the weather? I don't know it. But I hope it's not a crappy weather game. Let's see. Let's pull up the handy dandy weather app. Pittsburgh, PA. Let's see. Sunday. Ooh, yeah. 65 degrees with the 50% chance of rain on Sunday. Yep, it's raining today. 40% chance of rain. It rained today. It's raining tomorrow. And Sunday it's raining. Oh, wouldn't you know, the sun comes up on Monday, though. Yeah. So it might be a rainy day Sunday when the 49ers play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not always fun. I don't like rainy games. So that might be a ugly defensive struggle type game. We'll see. There's going to be a lot of running in that game, and that's going to be the key. The 49ers run the ball well. Pittsburgh's a gritty team. I can see this being an ugly, knockout, drag out game. You know, the last time the 49ers and the Steelers play, oh, man, that was an ugly game. 2019, I was at that game, Levi Stadium. I think the 49ers had like 5 turnovers. I don't know how they won that game. It was crazy. Crazy. Yeah, remember last year we opened up with rain? Crazy. HR says, rain. I'm in the Philippines, and 4 typhoons have hit here in 2 weeks. Holy smokes, man. Prayers up. Hope everything's good for you. 4 typhoons, man. That's scary. Jesus, man. Hopefully you're good. Enrique says, CMC game MVP. I mean, if it's a rainy game, you got to count on CMC a lot. You got to ground pound, right? So I would assume CMC is going to have a big game. And, you know, again, Patrick Peterson, going back to that podcast, he was like ripping this team. And he says, it's like he was taking CMC lightly. Well, you just close up the lanes. You just tackle them well. CMC's not going to do good. Like, he literally says, all he does is catch screens. Patrick Peterson, he's going to get a lot of receipts his way if they lose that game. Mario says it's not going to rain. Well, it's 50% chance. So there's 50% chance it will and 50% chance it won't. So there's 50% chance that your prediction is right. Red Eye says the Niners do not do good in the rain. Yeah, we don't. History in rain games has been ugly. Let's see. Last year, the Bears. That was an ugly game. The Colts the year before. Remember the Colts game? Oh, was that like a primetime game? I think. Primetime against the Colts. Oh, my God. Do you remember that game? That's when the fan was in the stands with the goggles and no shirt. Oh, that game was so ugly. That was so bad. Carson Wentz. Yeah. Against Carson freaking Wentz. I was so sick after that game. Jordan says CMC surpasses the rushing yards record in the season this year. Oh, I hope so. Beast Mode says it's not percent chance of rain. It's 50% of the air. Okay, yeah. I guess you're right. So maybe it's not going to rain. It's either going to rain or not. Rain at 5 p.m. Okay, that's good. That's good. Rain after the game. You know what? That's good. Maybe the 49ers can win, and then the rain will come and wash away all the Pittsburgh's tears after the game. That would be nice. Hopefully. Let's see. Hopefully. Yeah, you guys talking about that Chiefs game tonight, huh? Red Eye said the Chiefs killed themselves. All they needed was a field goal. Receivers dropped key. Yeah. Whew. They had no pressure on Goff, and receivers couldn't drop anything, or couldn't catch a cold, man. So absolutely, Kelsey and Chris Jones, they needed them. I think they still could have won with Kelsey, but man, Chris Jones is probably smiling. He's probably smiling. He's like, ha, you guys lost. You need to pay me. Pay me. But I'm so glad the 49ers paid Nick Bosa. And that whole saga, the drama is, oh God, I'm so happy that it's over. So happy that it's over. Now we can just focus on this week. So, yeah, dude, Chris Jones getting the bag. Just like Bosa, man. You think Chris Jones gets more than Bosa? There's no way. There's no way he gets more than Bosa. Bosa set the market, man. And his agent is a happy guy. I bet you his agent is getting, man, his agent's probably having a great week because he's the agent for Joe Burrow, too. And Joe Burrow got 5 years, $275 million. Highest paid player in the NFL. And then Nick Bosa is the highest paid defensive player in the NFL, the highest paid non-quarterback. He's got 2 of the highest paid players in the NFL, man. That is crazy. Shout out to their agent. And, they're like boys. They've been friends for a long time. They went to Ohio State together. They were boys there. They've been boys in the league. That's crazy, man. They got the same agent. Shout out to Joe Burrow and Nick Bosa, man. Both cashed in. Randy says, I regret not becoming an agent. Did you have a chance to become an agent? If you did, Yeah, you blew that one. You fumbled the bag, man. I would have loved to be an agent. You kidding me? It's like a dream job. I regret too. I should go back. If I ever get a time machine, I'm going back and somehow becoming an agent. Knowing how much I know now with these prices, sheesh. You give me 10%, not even 10%. You give me 7% of one of these contracts. That's all I need. That's all I need. Jerry Maguire. That was a good movie. Ezekiel says, I love my boy Najee. He's got to get shut down this week. Yeah, I like Najee Harris, but I think the 49ers run defense, he's got to step up this week. I feel like it's been a little lacking, but they got to really step up. Fred Warner, Drake Greenlaw, Hufanga, these guys have to really bring it. They got to set the edge. Now we have Hargrave. Now you got Armstead in there with Hargrave. Those two guys have to really come and bring it. They got to really, 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 really bring it. So it's going to be interesting, though. There's a lot of matchups this week. This is a tough game, man. A very, very, very tough game. But I'm gonna say the Niners are gonna win this game. It's gonna be a close one because the Steelers, they're gritty and it is a home game for them. They're a tough team on the road. I think it'll be a good game, though. How many sackaroonies will Nick Bosa get? It's a good question, Darren. How much do you guys think? How many sackaroonies will Nick Bosa get? I think he's gonna get 2 sackaroonies on Sunday. I think he's gonna get 2. I think he'll come in, he'll get 2 sacks, 4 tackles, 2 for loss. He's going to have a good game. And people are going to be like, oh, that's why. He's going to get 2 sacks this weekend. 22 for Bosa this year. Breaks the sack record. That would be great. Randy says Bosa was making his agent scream, show me the money. He probably was. I'm sure Bosa was watching that movie this week. Jerry Maguire. That's a good movie. I feel like if the defense is not as good, they're going to put it all on Steve. Steve Wilkes might be the scapegoat. You know what? You're right. He might be the scapegoat this year if the defense isn't good. I don't know. I was listening to his presser. Maybe he's tired because I kind of sound like Steve Wilkes right now. I'm like low energy. I'm tired. But his press conference was kind of lame today. I was like, where's the energy, man? You just got Nick Bosa back. I would be a lot more. Like, you saw how hyped I was? Like, they were asking him questions. He was like, yeah, Nick's back. He's different. He makes our team better. Yeah, I like Nick Bosa. I was like, dude, you need to be like, yeah, Nick Bosa's my guy. I can't wait to see what he does to this defense. He was just like so like, yeah, Nick Bosa's good. He's different. He makes his defense better. We expect this defense to be hitting on all cylinders with Nick now. It was weird. I don't know. I just don't get good energy from Steve Wilkes. That's just me though. I don't know. That's just the way I saw it today. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe he was tired. Maybe stayed up all night. I don't know. Maybe he had a big, deep conversation with Nick Bosa last night when he came home, and he's tired. But he sounded like low energy today. I wasn't. That was weird because you would think that Steve Wilkes had a lot more energy knowing that Nick Bosa's back, and he just was like so like. I don't know. He's just again. I think the best way to describe it is just low energy. I didn't like it. I got a bone to pick against Steve Wilkes. It seems like this offseason. But we'll see. I hope he makes his defense great. Makes his defense great. Maybe he's keeping his eye on the prize and being calm. Maybe. Can I pull up the Steve Wilkes clips? I don't have it right now. Maybe if I go on IG, I can pull them up there. YouTube's, they'll give me a copyright strike if I put anything on this page. That's why I can't run my YouTube like the way I want. Because they copyright strike me for anything. Even if I edit it and put like grainy edits on it and chop it up, they still hit me. I don't know. YouTube don't like me. But we'll play it on Instagram. Beast Mode says, is Wilkes going to call from the booth? Yeah, he's going to be calling plays from the booth, man. He's calling plays from the booth. He's not going to be on the field. It's different energy. Jay Prod. What's up, Jay Prod? He says, Purdy or Pickett? We got to go with Purdy, my man. Everybody's sleeping on Brock Purdy this year. That's what I was talking about earlier. Brock Purdy's being slept on heavily. I like Kenny Pickett. I think he has some talent. I know the Steelers went, 7-2 down the stretch last year. 49ers didn't lose a game until the NFC Championship games for like 12 games. So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. Mario says, I'm more nervous about Moody than anything else. Honestly, before I leave, I'm going to head out. I got some things to take care of tonight. But honestly, I agree. I think my biggest concern is Jake Moody. Jake Moody has me stressed out because if it's a close game, I'm gonna be a little stressed on uh on that game because he hasn't looked good this offseason and he got iced in the preseason. So we'll see it. We'll see it. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna be a little stressed about Moody too. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's going to be a hell of a game. I agree, Flora. Jordan says, I've noticed that I feel more comfortable with Purdy at quarterback position compared to Jimmy. Oh, man. He gave me nightmares. I always felt like he was going to make a mistake. He just felt like unease. I do feel a lot more calm with Brock. Like, he's smooth. I trust him. I trust his decisions. I see him scanning the field. I just feel so much more confident than Brock. And if he makes a mistake, I'm like, oh, okay, he'll bounce back. But Jimmy, it was like you're waiting for that mistake to just be out of the way. So I agree. Oh, you have a tear in your. Oh, that is debilitating. It's tough, man. Maybe we'll talk offline. We'll talk about it, and we'll see if I can help you with that stuff. That stuff's crazy. I'm a rehab guy, so we'll give you some options. But any case, you guys have a good rest of your night. I'm gonna bounce out of here. I wanted to just hop on YouTube because I didn't get on today. I was just so busy, so I didn't get a chance to talk about too much on YouTube. But we'll be back tomorrow. We'll do a game preview and all that good stuff. But appreciate you guys. Hit the like button, and we'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, I get out of work a little earlier tomorrow, but I doubt it. It's gonna be a busy day for me tomorrow. So hopefully, I'll be live a little bit tomorrow, a little earlier, and we can do a game preview and stuff. So you guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. We love you. Go Niners.